asked me to be on stage and talk about what I go through. Like I'm saying about the pandemic, my biggest concern was my veterans. Because the day they shut down the VA, 15 out of the 20 veterans I had relapsed in one day. They had nowhere to go. They closed the VA. Everybody that was in the drug and alcohol program were right back on the streets. And what made it so bad, the shelters closed down. So it was what I'm gonna do now? They're gone. Am I gonna relapse? Then I started reading stories. Like you said, Bishop, we started seeing the real, divine preachers in life. Because I heard 15% of ministers attempted suicide during COVID. The VA called me and said, what can we do? What are we gonna do? You asking me, I'm just a little peon. They was like, no, but you know how to help these guys. You know how to get them off the streets. So we went with the mask thing and they built a tent. And that's where they can hang out during the day. My dad used to tell me, an idle's mind is a devil's mind. So you had to give them something to do. And that's what I'm advocating for now is homeless people. I just recently bought a home in Portsmouth. And I was telling Lady D and Prince, my fight right now is, and if I shock you, you'll probably never knew. Do you know there's not one homeless shelter, not one homeless program, nothing in the city of Portsmouth?
That's correct.
And when I was driving here today, I saw a Portsmouth police officer. The guy was just sitting on the bench with his bags. She flashed her lights, got on her radio. She didn't even have the decency to get out the car and told him he can't sit there. So where's he gonna go? And I've been fighting with the city council. I've been fighting with so many organizations. And Prince will tell you, every day he calls me, I'm somewhere feeding the homeless. I'm doing this, because I was there. You can go to school and learn how to be a therapist, but a lot of these guys want to see someone that's went through it and is standing up now and not scared to say what they went through. Yes, I was homeless. I was not scared. I'll tell you the type of homeless person I was. I was getting a pension check from the Army. So what I would do is, it was cheaper for me to be homeless and live in my car where I can drink all day and not pay bills and just get a hotel room maybe 3 days out of the week and then go right back living in my car. And I never ran out of money for alcohol. Now it took guts to have a plan made like that to say, you know what? I don't need a house, I live in my car. But then that one day when I saw myself, like, man, I got skinny. And my family was seeing it, and everybody was saying, what's going on? Oh, I'm good, I'm just traveling around the world. Nope, I was traveling around downtown Charlotte, finding a parking space and getting drunk. And I love seeing some of these guys get up here, oh, I don't even think about alcohol no more. Okay, that's you, but I'm gonna tell you the truth about me. Every morning I wake up, I wanna drink. And I don't wanna drink and just take a shot. No, I want the whole bottle. I want 2 or 3 cases of beer, sit on my porch and just drink all day. But I can't, because I have too many people dependent on me. And the main person that depends on me is me. And that's who I fight for every day, is me. My wife, my church, but I fight for me. And I know it sounds selfish, but that's not selfish. That's how I have to survive. I just have a best friend that just happens to sleep next to me. My wife, and when I say, hey babe, I don't feel good, you want a drink? And she'll look at me, I'll tell her I need a drink. And she's like, well, instead of sitting there discouraging me, Well, nah, I got something to do. Can't do it. How can I go talk to a homeless person and you smell alcohol coming off my breath?
That's right.
What point am I making if I'm going back to what I used to do?
Yeah, that's right.
So it's been a hard journey, but I don't regret nothing I've done in life. Up until this point, I don't regret anything. And the best thing in my life that's ever happened to me is meeting Prince and Lady D. Because then I have my silly friend back there in Moscow. We were stationed together. Marcus, my homeboy, my insurance agent. You know, this play has really opened me up to stop being scared and tell people what's really going on. Now, you got 3 people in here that can tell you everything you see on the news about the military is not true. I just read an article. The Navy posted an article Monday. Their suicide rate went up 15%. Their suicide rate went up 15%. Now, what worries do they have in the Navy? Free room and board. Get a check every month. There's no situations going on right now. This is the Navy, and if anybody was in the Navy, I'm sorry, I'm not bragging on the Navy. But join the Army and see what happens. Join the Marines. I just don't understand what's going on. I said to my wife, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. I said to my wife the other day, it used to be the children are supposed to bury their parents. And now it's so often the parents are burying the children now. And it's not because they're getting shot, it's not because they're getting killed. Mental health, committing suicide. Why is a 6-year-old committing suicide? I think we need to go back to, I think everybody in here is old enough to remember sometimes sitting and playing a video game wasn't working. I remember the days of cement football, baseball, riding bikes outside. These kids are overweight. These kids have they don't even want to be outside because all the stuff on TV. I'm not gonna hold y'all up no more. I love each and every one of y'all. Appreciate you letting me talk.
Lord have mercy, what a story. Billy Davis, real stories, real people. Again, we're a musical with a purpose. That's, people say, hey, you gotta play. I get it, that's the way we have to do things and say things because of the structure of what we do. Like Chief Gardner says, this is a movement, and it consists of a lot of things that we do. I'm going to bring my partner in crime. I guess that's a figure of speech to say partner in crime. We're not robbing anything. No, it's crime. It's crime. That's a little bit. All right, so I'm going to bring my partner, my assistant director, and again, the Holy Spirit is really the true director of this, but this guy has been with me since 2016. We've been doing this for that long. And a lot of people say, bring it to Virginia. We've been here a few times. But we travel state to state. We was traveling to Atlanta, and he got word that his brother passed away. And we were driving in the car. Marcus, this is the crew, right? We drive ourselves to these locations. And so it was his time to drive, and we up there, we singing. And not me, this guy, an incredible vocalist, an artist, a writer. So we're singing, and he got on the phone, and he just almost swerved off the road. And we think about this a lot, right? The risk and when he put himself on the line, losing a brother. We all would have got smashed by an 18-wheeler, and we just grabbed Marcus back, put him on the side, he was crying. We got back in the car, the whole entire cast started singing. We started pointing at him, we started praying, he smiled, but he still held on. And those things, that's trauma. right? And so we go through these things unexpectedly. Still, he got on the stage, the following city he was at, and you would never know that he'd been through what he was going through. I want y'all to give a warm welcome to my partner, my little brother, Marcus George. I call him MG because I like to be special. Just give him some love.
I just want to take a second and first off just thank all my cast members. You guys are brothers and sisters to me. I think everybody has a story, right? The beautiful thing about the testimony is if I didn't go through something, I couldn't get on this stage and do what I do. I couldn't cry real tears, not just tears of sorrow, but tears of where I started, right, to where I am now. But most importantly, what God still has planned for me and where he has for me to go. You're talking about a country boy from a place called Fayetteville, North Carolina, and grew up probably on one of the worst streets in the country called Murchison Road. Billy, you know about that street.
Yes, sir.
So, thinking about a lot of my friends that are now dead, incarcerated, thinking about that gut feeling we always talk about, right? Gut feeling ain't gut feeling. Gut feeling is God. That's what I tell my kids. I hate to hear people say, I have this gut feeling that I shouldn't do this, or I have a gut feeling that I shouldn't do that. Well, something told me, no, something, that's God. That's God telling you, hey, you're going in the wrong direction. And I'm glad that I come from a religious background, a family that was deep-rooted into God and into Christ, because that gut feeling, I was told earlier, there's no such thing as love. There's no such thing as gut feelings. That's all God. And even in your, what you may think is your shortcomings, that's God just paving the way for what he really has for you. You know what I mean? So when we say musical with a purpose, actually, the music is the small part. It's more the purpose of what we're doing. Now we just utilize the gifts and talents that God has given us to make it a musical, right? But see, Bishop, and this is no disrespect to anything you said in this congregation, right? However, you have to think about this. Did Jesus just sit in the church? Or did Jesus go out to the secular? Right? So we don't call this a gospel play. And if that offends anyone, I apologize. But it's the truth. It is a musical with a purpose. And that purpose is to save the souls of the lost. Because guess what? Some people find those four walls their safe haven. But they forget after Sunday, they go out and do whatever they want to do.
That's right.
Let's just keep it real, right? I was taught that greater is he that is in me than he is in the world. And this church is inside of me. What we're doing right now is church. You know what? We're all talking about where we came from and how God has delivered us from what we've been through. And that's what I'm thankful for this play for, because I am able, and so are my fellow cast members, we're able to express ourselves in our lives through this musical. We're able to give, even if all of it's not exactly to the T of what we've been through, we're able to give a portion of what we've been through to the world. So when we're crying, these are real tears we're crying. When we're laughing, these are real moments we're thinking of, we're laughing about. When we're being serious, these are real moments that we're being serious about. So when we say it's improv, to an extent it's improv, but really it's recollection of improv. Because when you can recall of where you started, you know, smiling when you're going to finish it. And that's what we do. We are here to uplift people. And I'll never forget, who was right here on Princess Anne doing the show. And Lady D comes running out of the back. Her eyes are filled with crocodile tears right before the play. And I'm like, are you okay? And she said, I said, what's wrong? She said, no, it's not what's wrong. It's what's right. And what's right is, I had a lady that said, hey, I heard your commercial before this play that y'all were doing, and I was gonna kill myself. But I heard your commercial and I came back. And what you guys did tonight saved my life. Now, how can you walk away from something like that when you hear that you are really saving someone's life? And I'll be brief, guys. I just love what I do. When you love what you do, you can talk about it all night long, right? And we all love what we do. We have the ability to be able to just be open, transparent, not care about the world, because you know what? We live in a reality world. We can go out here and we can write a script, but it's not gonna have the same feeling effect as if we just speak from the heart. Like Lady T, you spoke from the heart. That's something you can't script, you can't rehearse, but guess what? I'll never forget what you said, because it was from the heart. And I think we all need to be a little bit more brave at times to speak from the heart. And that's what this place allows us to do. I'm glad that Prince allows me to share crazy ideas, or I always talk crazy, but what he's taught me is no idea is crazy. Because guess what? Regardless of how left field the scenario you're trying to put in this play is, somebody's been through it, because you wouldn't be thinking about it. So you never know. Sometimes those people that are smiling the most are the ones that's going home crying the hardest. So you do your best to just touch as many souls as you can, just by being you. Don't change for nobody. And one last thing you guys mentioned, we as parents, we have to charge ourselves. We're allowing social media, the internet, music, everything. It's just like that food you eat. Whatever you ingest in you, you're gonna produce something, right? So what I tell my kids is, just like you eat food, my son's an athlete, so he eats really healthy. You gotta feed your spirit the same way you feed your body. So whatever you ingest in your spirit is gonna linger. Now, do you want that to linger and prosper in your spirit in a good way? Or do you want it to be an unhealthy spirit you allow it to linger in your body? So I love the fact that we're able to reach a secular audience along with believers, which is perfectly fine. Believers know where they're going, right? So why just hang around them? If you know where you're going, you ain't gonna ask me for directions if you know where you're going. Right? But somebody else sees lost on the GPS, like, hey, let's give them directions, and that's what this allows us to do. Thank you all for your time. It's been an honor. I am in the middle of moving, so I do have to greatly leave. But I just wanted to take a moment to say, love you all, and I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of the day.
Marcus George.
Gotta go pick my son up right now.
Every night he got an idea. Yeah. Hey, fella, every night he has an idea. He has an idea. Guess what? You know how it is in this industry. Every night he has an idea. I think we should do this. I think we should move Dr. O soon. I think we need to bring an adversary. I think we should do this and do that. So I'm gonna wrap it up, right? But before I close it out, I call her Lady J. I appreciate you. I appreciate she's Velcro. Velcro, is that what it is? I'm saying right, the thing that you stick in Velcro. That's what she is, because she's always, somebody's always sticking to her. Like she's always making that connection. She's always, oh snap, I know that person. It's like, who don't know her? And she's open with connecting people. She ministered to me the other day and gave me a confirmation about sometimes you're gonna have to cut some people off in order for you to prosper. And I was like, huh? She said, yeah, sometimes you might have to cut your friends loose, your pet. Like she was, I had her on speakerphone, me and Lady D was listening. She was like, sometimes in order for you to go forward, you're gonna have to cut some people loose. I'm like, everyone can't go. I'm like, I'm like, but she was giving genuine advice, and I have to realize that our mind is like a parking space. It's like a garage, right? I refer to the mind as a garage, right? There's many parking spaces in your garage, right? If you go to certain locations, they got a lot of space. Now you have a decal vehicle in your mind. That means somebody else's business is parked in a parking space that your vision needs to be in. But you got other people's stuff without a decal parked in that spot. What happens in real life? That car will get towed. You were told that car will the police will come and they will tow your car, right? Because it's in a space right? A parking space without a decal. What I'm saying to you, in order for you to have a clear mind and have a mental freedom, and just kind of the word free your mind, it is getting those cars, those other people's stuff, other people's visions, and you're talking about Kanye so much, right? But what about you? You're talking about this and that, and all of these things is occupying that space in your mind. God tells you in Romans 12, verse 2, do not be transformed. I'm going to paraphrase, right? Because I'm not a Bible scholar, right? But I'm going to just break it down for someone to really understand. Do transform, right? Don't get caught up in what the world is doing. Transform. Be transformed. Reset your mind. Renew your mind. And test and approve God's perfect will. Right? So God is saying every day, get daily bread, get a reset every day. Every day we got to reset back to factory settings. If you got a phone and your phone is moving slow and it's all glitchy and your space is running out and you're wondering why your phone is buffering and all of that stuff, it's because you need to delete certain files that are heavy, certain things from your phone. And now, Lady J, that made me think about what you were saying. I got to delete some of the things that don't belong. So I have to cut loose people, right? So what it is I'm encouraging you to have a good, clear mental health. It's just like physical health, right? You want to be a vegan, you want to have a keto diet, and you want to eat right? You go work out, that's fine. The same thing with mental health. You want to be able to get rid of the excess fat. The people and things that doesn't belong in your mind, you got to clear your space, renew your mind. So I am going to do this, right? I see my next cast member, my next sister, or we advocates of this. Sometimes when I say cast members, actress and actors, then I'm going back to saying we're putting on an act. But we're advocates, right? We're advocates of this truth. We're advocates of this purpose. But I'm going to let her get her eat on real quick, but I'm going to bring Lady J. You want to say something for me? If you want to speak, because you are such a powerful young lady, beautiful queen. I thank you for opening up the door. Let's speak about mental health. Let me be Clarence right now. Let me do the interview. I always want to grow up and be like Clarence. Lady J.
Thank you, Prince. Thank you. Well, first I want to say thank everyone for coming out here to We Care Salon Cafe. I met Prince from Bullseye Cooking. We have a cooking show that airs on WGNT 27. And we actually featured him like,
My Life Matter?
yeah, My Life Matter on the show. So that's how I actually met you. But what I wanted to say was that I was introduced to mental health when I was in the process of opening up my businesses. My second business was working in group homes, okay? So we provided and opened up group homes for intellectual developmental disabilities. So what happened was a lot of our individuals in our group home was diagnosed with primary diagnosis of intellectual developmental disability. But their second diagnosis was mental health. So we was working with a lot of individuals that was what you call dual diagnosed. So that's how I was able to understand and learn more of the mental health field. One of the things too in this field that we're in is that we have a lot of providers that's working and opening up mental health as well as ID, behavioral health, but we don't have enough providers in the area for this. So my job is to not only help to be able to get other providers open so we can provide more service to provide more service in the community for mental health. So I just wanted to say, it's good to be able to hear what everybody has to say in their story so we can get a better understanding on the mental health side. But as a provider, we definitely want to be able to provide that service to everyone. So just know that as a provider, we are working on getting more people open to get these services out there, so that way we can help more in the community. Okay. I just want to thank you again.
Thanking me. And I should be thanking her. That's how humble she is. That's how amazing she is. Because when you're trying to give her the stage, she give it right back to you. And one of the things she said, it sticks with me, and she said, I do this so that I can encourage someone else. And she kept saying, I do this so that I can encourage someone else. And so you don't have no excuses if you're hanging around her, if you're on her team, not to prosper. Because that's her goal, and she said it, and that's the key with helping people. All right, so let me just move right along because of this, I just want to go ahead and get some of this footage here so that I can present again the My Life Matters Let's Talk documentary. The next person I'm going to bring to speak to you will be, she's, when I say model actress, she's really that, like she's a model actress. Okay, we did a skit one day at Poolside Cooking Show, right? The main character was not available. I don't know if it was Lady J said get her, or I don't know. I don't know how or what happened. Because again, I told you she'd be connecting stuff without knowing she's connecting people, right? She just connect and people because she brings a good platform that allow good people to be in that platform or be in that area that ends up connecting. I met a young lady that works with her. Her mother ends up being in a play. So I'm like, these folks, and I didn't realize, like, wow, we were over there poolside doing something with the artist, and I end up getting the main ingredients to the play. Then here comes her foolish husband, and I don't want to say crazy, that was just a figure of speech, but I cannot let them go because they add value to this musical. Because I tell you, no lie, he's another one. If I present something, he presented, I think we should do this. And sure enough, I'm gonna use it because, again, at first I said, this play is 70% improv, and Moscow came out and said, no, it's just 95% improv. Like he just knew right away what this mission was without me explaining every detail. But I want y'all to meet the model advocate actress. She's a real therapist in this musical. I kid you not. She brought emotion to the play, and this is real stuff. So put your hands together. Warm welcome to Miss Tika Gardner. And let me say this. I created this scene in this character called Dr. OMG, right? And it was her name.
Hello. Everybody calls me Tika. OMG comes from Otika. So, in the play, I am, or was, Dr. O. I was a therapist in the play. Now I am some devil woman. Who thought of that? What is going on with that? But yeah, I'm in the play. I really enjoy it. I enjoy talking about mental health and supporting others. But like Prince said, it's my everyday part of life. I am a mental health professional, so I talk to people of all walks of life every single day. And I also talk to people who are trying to manage poor mental health skills. And I talk to people, because there's a difference. I don't think people understand the true difference. We talk about mental health. This is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we talk about mental illness. That's people that are diagnosed with certain mental illness. PTSD. We talk about that here. Depression, schizophrenia, things of that nature. But when you are not managing your mental health correctly, it could actually lead to a mental illness. It can lead to an actual diagnosis. So the ways that I tell individuals to really manage their mental health is to write in their journal, find someone that they trust. If it's really getting bad, please speak to a therapist, going for walks. There's exercising, there's all types of ways that people can really manage their mental health. Some things are situational, and we all know that things happen in our everyday life. That is a situation. That does not mean that you are going to be mentally ill for the rest of your life. So once you get through that situation or get through that problem, you know, you're able to manage your life and do well without, medication or, seeing a therapist for the rest of your life. So, some of my clients are short-term, meaning, you know, I may just see them for a month, and some of my clients I've had for over a year. So, yeah, so we know each other very well, the ones that I've seen over years. So, and people ask me, how do I disassociate myself? I know I'm there to support someone with their problem, because I'm not gonna fix your problem for you. You know, you're going to do the work, and it is very hard work, but I, am there as a tool for someone to use. I am used, so in a good way. So I try to support others, encourage others, you know, and know when I'm talking to people every day, I'm not trying to diagnose. Someone asked me that before too. Like, are you trying to diagnose people when you talk to them every day? No. Everyone doesn't need a diagnosis. Everyone has problems. I have problems. You know, everyone has their issues and situations.